Bernie Sanders did not see this coming. Check it out.
Anyways, I ranted too long. Let's talk about some...
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask your opinion on that. You've been sitting here longer than I've even been alive. This is your problem. You should have fixed this a long time ago.
During a Senate hearing, Mullin was laying out the exact problem with our healthcare system. But Bernie kept interrupting him until Mark Wayne had enough and shut him down once and for all. That's why today's video is not to be missed, so let's jump right into it.
When we start talking about healthcare not being affordable, ranking member and I actually agree on that. The problem is you supported the same tools that got us to where healthcare is unaffordable, because ACA, affordable healthcare, which is completely unaffordable, has risen 3 times faster than inflation itself. Yet we still support it. Not we, you, the Democrats.
No, I support a national health care program which will cut the cost of health care.
I'm sorry, it's my time.
But you're attacking me.
No,
you're going to attack me. I'm going to respond.
I'm pointing out facts. You can say what you want. I'm just pointing out facts.
No,
the fact
you're pointing out lies.
Is that it is risen 3 times faster, and we know it. Yet we still want to sit here and defend it. The ranking member wants us to talk about all the death that is supposedly going to be happening because of President Trump and Secretary Kennedy, because how dare they look at a healthcare system that is broken and unaffordable and try to make changes, but yet the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing, expecting different results, so we should just sit here and accept it?
Now, here's a little known fact about Bernie and his national healthcare plan. Back in 2011, his home state of Vermont actually tried implementing something similar. They spent 3 years studying how to build a system and put the framework together. But by 2014, the governor abandoned the plan entirely, saying, quote, "It's not the right time for it." Why? Because estimates showed the program would have cost $4.3 billion in its first year. Meanwhile, the entire budget for the state was around $5 billion, meaning they'd have to massively increase taxes across the board. Yet Sanders still pushed the same failed model at the national level, expecting a different result. But Mullin didn't stop there and continued calling out Bernie's line of thinking, leading to an interesting showdown.
I'm saying let's go after it. Let's look at it. Let's question what we're doing. Let's look at the healthcare system. We can agree on that one. I just don't want to socialize it. But we can agree that it is absolutely not affordable. 100% not affordable. Yet it was supposed to be affordable. That's what we sold by Obamacare. So how about we work together and say, hey, so scrap ACA, admit it doesn't work, admit you guys made a mistake, and let's work at something with President Trump to make affordable health care healthy and affordable for everybody. But there's zero chance you guys could do that. Zero chance. Yet everybody we bring up here, you guys chastise for trying to make changes. God forbid we change and go after and try to fix our broken system. Anyways, I ranted too long. Let's talk about some...
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask your opinion on that. And if I cared about your opinion, I would ask you, but I don't care about your opinion.
Well,
you're part of the system. You're part of the problem. You've been sitting here longer than I've even been alive. This is your problem. You should have fixed this a long time ago. You've been railing on it so long. What have you been doing?
I've decided not to run for Surgeon General. You're the nominee. I've decided not to accept that nominee.
That is definitely something we would never accept.
This hearing was actually the first step towards confirming the new Surgeon General, and we will get to her testimony in a moment. But Mark Wayne is right about one thing. Bernie is the textbook example of a career politician. He has been in Congress since 1991. And after more than 3 decades in Washington, his track record is terrible, to say the least. No, now this isn't a personal attack. You see, over the entire time, Bernie has had only 3 bills directly become law, which is just 0.7% of all the bills he has sponsored. Now, imagine if you were that ineffective at your job. You get fired on the spot. Casey Means laid out her own ideas for addressing several of the problems Mullin mentioned if she continued as Surgeon General. But before we play that, we have a quick message from today's sponsor. Folks, while the world watches Iran light up the Middle East, America just got a wake-up call that goes far beyond oil, and the mainstream media is burying it. The U.S. Navy's nuclear fleet, the weapons keeping this nation safe, the power grid of the future, they all run on one thing: uranium. Right now, the United States consumes more than 50 million pounds of it each year and produces less than 1 million domestically. That's a 50-to-1 ratio right there and a critical national security risk. That is why the Department of Energy committed $2.7 billion to restore domestic uranium enrichment. At the same time, the White House invoked Section 232, making it clear that President Trump's direction is firm. America must build its own supply chain now. This is where Atomic Minerals comes into focus. Trading as Atom on the TSX Venture and ATMMF on the OTC, this isn't a startup taking its first swing. Its leadership helped discover and sell the Rough Rider deposit to Rio Tinto for $654 million. The question is, can they do it again? Atomic controls 4 fully owned projects in the Colorado Plateau, a region responsible for more than 597 million pounds of production. Now, its flagship, South Lisbon Valley East in Utah, sits in a district that has already delivered 80 million pounds. Uranium prices have climbed from $28 in 2017 to around $95 today, with projections pushing higher. The same team once closed a $654 million deal. Today, the valuation sits at an 87% discount to its peer group average. So, if you want to learn more about this critical mineral story, check the link in the description below. A special thanks to Atomic Minerals for making today's video possible.
Ma'am, what's your passion about healthcare? What brought you into this?
Thank you, Senator Mullin. For all of us, I'm just going to take a deep breath. My vision for Surgeon General and for the future of America is to get more healthy, whole food on Americans' plates and to work to systematically encourage our healthcare system to focus on the root causes of why we are sick and not just reactive sick care. This is my passion. This is why I was put on this earth. We have an incredible healthcare system. It's amazing. It's produced miracles. If we have an acute issue, absolutely you want to be in America to get that fixed. But 90% of healthcare costs are now going to chronic diseases. And frankly, having practiced, I've seen thousands of patients, worked in this system for almost a decade in clinical medicine, it's not the focus of what we as doctors are incentivized to spend our time on. It's not what's reimbursed, and this is a problem.
Now, she's absolutely right. When we compare healthcare spending in the United States with Europe, the difference is striking. Not only do we overspend them, but 90% of it is focused on treatment, while only 3.6% goes towards prevention. In many European countries, the balance looks very different, where countries like Germany and Austria invest roughly twice as much in preventative care, and their food standards limit harmful additives in their food. One key statistic that proves their approach is far more effective than ours is the fact that the average life expectancy in the US is 4.1 years below the average across OECD countries. Casey expanded on this point further, making them even stronger arguments. Take a look.
The science is showing us through amazing emerging work in systems biology and network biology that the physiologic causes of the vast majority of diseases that are taking American lives and torturing and shortening our lives, even in our children, are connected by shared physiology and shared root causes. We need to upgrade the paradigm of the American healthcare system to educate and treat in that way. It is by far the most efficient way to treat, of course, because if we're addressing shared root causes, we're going to be able to stop the whack-a-mole medicine that's not working for us and that is so costly. And so my passion is to help work with the AMA, work with medical schools, work with Democrats, Republicans, all sorts of agencies across the government to ensure that we really move the needle on shifting the American healthcare system towards root causes. I know we can do it. There's political will. It's what Americans want. Even the medical schools are on board, but we need a vision to get there.
Thank you.
See, this is the kind of response you would expect from someone nominated to serve as Surgeon General. And if we are being frank, healthcare shouldn't be treated as a partisan issue in the first place. Some of you might remember her predecessor, who focused on getting people banned on social media just because they dared question the experts. But despite the negative media coverage, Casey and the overall MAHA movement's focus on addressing root causes rather than just treating symptoms is changing how people think about public health. So, here's to hoping lawmakers from both sides start supporting policies that move in that direction. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, keep thinking.